Good evening. I've got to have my iPad here with all my notes on it because I'm old and I forget things. And it's nice and big, but I can't remember why. Welcome to our 9th annual South Valley Junior High School 8th or 6th grade band festival. I want to call it 8th grade because we have 7th grade, we have 8th grade, we have Campo Verde's wind ensemble here. It's really a special night that we're going to get to see the entire spectrum of our students going from 6th grade all the way through high school. The purpose of this is to kind of show you the vibrancy of music in Gilbert. We have it, in my personal opinion, having traveled around and gotten to judge some band festivals and see things, Mr. Kozak can attest to it, I think the best music district in the state of Arizona. And you're going to hear a lot of that on display tonight. So I've got some thank yous to give out before we get started, and I want to start with our entire South Valley PE department. We're very lucky to work as a community of teachers here, and we all help each other out. This is their classroom, and they were nice enough to let me in it the whole day. It took a long time to get all this stuff set up and get everything ready so you can enjoy yourselves tonight. And our PE department worked with us and allowed me in here to do that, and they sacrificed their classroom for it, and I very appreciate that. I want to thank our parent volunteers who were in the band room serving pizza to 135 students in about 5 minutes. It was awesome. I appreciate all of their help. Our 8th grade band council students and a few extra students that stayed all day they went to a field trip to Campo today, and then they stayed and helped me get all this stuff set up and greeted the 6th graders. Some are still taking pictures and things like that. I very much appreciate them. Our students here at South Valley work very hard. Our administrators, both from the high school and from the elementary school and our junior high school, Ms. Carlson, Ms. Koberstein, I hope I pronounced that right, Ms. Green, Dr. Henry, Mr. Thomas, Mr. Dumas, and of course, Mr. Sly here, who talked to you earlier. Mr. Yanez, Ms. Cruz, our Dean of Students and Vice Principal here, also helped a lot too. Should I smile? I guess I should smile. I have to ask that because my students don't always get to see me do that. Our Campo Verde Wind Ensemble under Mr. Kozak, who's here tonight, Mr. Johnson, his assistant. I really appreciate them coming every year so that you can hear them. I want to thank our elementary school directors, Ms. Dector, Dr. Sanchez, Mr. Seagraves, who's back there running our live stream tonight, for getting these students prepared. I get the fun job of standing up and being goofy and waving the stick. They've done all the work teaching all the music in their classrooms, and boy, are they prepared. You're in for a really good treat tonight. I want to thank all of you for putting up with those squeaks and squawks and instruments that fall out of their case and making sure they made it to school from 5th grade through now. And then if we have any of our high school parents who are watching at home, continuing to keep your kids into music at the highest levels that you're going to get to hear tonight. And most of all, I want to thank all of the people behind me that are going to perform tonight for their hours of practice, putting up with their teachers in their classrooms, dedicating themselves to learning an instrument and then performing for you tonight. I really appreciate it. We had a fantastic rehearsal tonight. Everybody is well fed, except for me, I'll eat later. Don't know that I need to. I'm going to ask you to please, if you have cell phones, small children, turn both of those off. Everybody's worked really hard for this performance. They deserve to be heard, and that should be the only sound they hear, other than wild applause when they finish. They don't get paid for this, unless you're going to pay them when they get home or some ice cream later. So the applause is their payment. And boy, with so many of you, it sounds really good when you appreciate their applause. Please wait until whoever's conducting the ensembles, whether me or Mr. Kozak, that you wait until their arms come down and they step to the side, because there might be some false endings, and you don't want to be a person that goes, yeah, oops, right? So kind of watch out for that. The stars of our show are the 6th grade. They're going to play at the beginning. We'll do a quick warm-up, and we'll play our first song, Heroes in Glory. And then you're going to get to hear the progression through 7th grade, through 8th grade, through high school. Then we're going to bring it full circle and have our stars end the show with Defenders of Time. So without any further ado, here we go. for sixth grade is focusing on heroes and glory and defenders. That I should probably have a shield, maybe a sword. I should defend, and I should be a hero. So they haven't seen this yet, but I'm going to try to conduct. Pretty amazing for that group of people. They'd never played that song together as a full group until today at about 5:15. The focus is amazing. I can't wait to have all of these students, hopefully every single one of them, sitting over there in our 7th grade band next year. Our counselors are going to be visiting the 6th grade classes this week. In fact, I think a few went out yesterday to talk about the different electives that the students can choose from when they come to South Valley. They only get one elective when they're in 7th grade, but they get 2 when they're in 8th grade. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about that as we go on, but this could be their class when they come here. There's no such thing as too many for me. I could have all these kids and I could, can I have 5 more? Can I have 5 more? Please keep them involved in music. We're going to have a parent expo here at South Valley for all 6th grade parents on Tuesday night, February 7th at 6 o'clock. You're going to get to go from different classrooms and see the different things that we have to offer. Please do come. And our 7th grade band is going to have a rehearsal that night, so you can just kind of walk in if you want to see how I run things and what they sound like when we practice together on something new. Pop in when we do that. So we're going to do a quick warm-up with 7th grade and play our song, Tornado. There we go. So I've already made one mistake this evening. I was supposed to tell you a little bit about that song before we played it. So kind of try to remember back in your head. But before I give you that little piece, let me tell you this part. What you just heard was pretty amazing. That's 7th grade. And if those students went to Quartz Hill, Spectrum, Neely, or Mesquite, or Ashland Ranch, there's a very good chance they sat right here last year. So that is the improvement level just between this time last year and now. And wait till you hear how it continues to go. That's the focus of tonight. That last song, Tornado, was about being in the Midwest when a tornado happens. And it starts out with this ominous note, and then things kind of build, and you hear it in the background, all the way till we have this fast chase scene, and then the calm quiet before everything kind of hits again. I should have told you that beforehand. It might have made a bigger impact, but they played it really, really well. This August, or this July when we started, and are now part of our full 7th grade band. So if you have friends or neighbors, or your kids have friends or neighbors who've never played an instrument in elementary, they thought they lost their chance, they can be in our beginning band here, and they'll be full members of our 8th grade band by the time that comes. In fact, full members of 7th grade band this time next year. We meet for an hour every single day. All of our classes do here. Band is a class. It's not an after-school activity. So just like math or science or those things, we meet here an hour every single day. And as Mr. Durham, are you here? Can I have you raise your hand someplace? I know he's hiding. Mr. Durham was the band director at Highland Junior High School since the Ice Age. And he's now thought out and working at our district level, and I'm very glad that he's here to support us, because I'm going to give you this next statistic, which is one that he actually compiled when he was doing these shows himself, which is that in 7th grade, we have more instruction in band by Christmas than 5th and 6th grade do combined, because of that meeting every day for an hour. So that's why we can progress so fast. Music helps with learning, it helps with life, it helps with all kinds of things. Please see your program on the back side where I give all the different benefits. I'm not going to read them all to you. We'd be here for 3 hours if I wanted to tell you how great music was. But there's so many fantastic things there. I do want to tell you a couple of quick stories. One is about my doctor who just recently retired. I got to find a new one. Let me know if you're interested. I'm a tough case. But every doctor that I've ever had, when I've gone in, my dentist is another example. The first question I ask him is, hey, what instrument did you play when you were in school? And I had one doctor fool me because I didn't, I was in the choir. Every other one has told me one. My dentist is a trombone player. So these are highly successful people who played an instrument at least through high school. And that's what we want to continue. You don't have to give up anything to do that. And then the last story I want to tell you here is, even with all that stuff, music, just as music's sake, is an important thing. We want to be able to enjoy music for what it is. Sure, it's great for brain power, it's verbal development, math, all those kind of coordination skills. But we also want to enjoy it just because it's a musical art form and just because we can have good fun doing it. Mrs. Levy, can we bring them out now? We can at least bring the first couple rows, right? Because they don't want to hear me tell any more stories. I will tell you one briefly as they're coming out, because the first things that we're going to play, this is our 8th grade coming out. We're going to do a quick warm-up with them because they haven't played all day. And then we're going to play the Star Spangled Banner. And after our warm-up, I do invite everybody to please stand. Our flag is to your right. My grandfather was a band director. He taught in Pennsylvania, and he taught for 50 years. I'm 57. I can't imagine he was a teacher for 50 years. And they had a mandatory retirement age in Pennsylvania. So he had to stop teaching in Pennsylvania, so he bought a trailer on the Pennsylvania-New Jersey border so he can continue to teach in New Jersey. And when I first began learning to play the trumpet, he was working with me. I told him, I don't want to be a band director. I didn't want to be, I want to be a professional trumpet player. And I kept working at that, and then I started working with kids, and I worked with kids, and I worked with kids, and I fell in love with doing this part, which is what I want to do. And the very first time I became a band director, my very first concert, he made me make a promise. I'm getting choked up thinking about it because I love my grandfather. I lost my mom this year, so It's a little difficult. But he made me make the promise that at every concert that I'm in charge of, we will always play the Star Spangled Banner. And that's whether I do it, and I just pick up my trumpet and play because maybe the kids are too small to do it yet, or, as you're going to hear, our 8th grade band sounds phenomenal on it. So I'm going to keep that tradition going. Enjoy our 8th grade. Please rise for our national anthem. Before we play our last song for 8th grade, Flurry for Winds and Percussion, a couple of quick things. I want to remind you, that was a pretty good Star Spangled Banner. 2 years ago, they sat here. Well, they probably didn't because it was COVID, but they would have, and they were in 6th grade, and listen to the progression already. One of the things, particularly if you have a student who's coming to South Valley for the first time, is you may be thinking, I really want my child to do band, but they're really into football or basketball or this or that, and I don't want it to conflict. We're here to tell you it doesn't. All the way through high school, Mr. Kozak will tell you the same thing. More importantly, especially here when we have all these clubs and activities after school, we are encouraging kids, sign up as much things as you can. Our rehearsals all during the day. We only have the concerts in the evenings. So I've created a list so I can show you, and you'll notice that a lot of our 7th and 8th graders are wearing something other than what we would traditionally wear as our black polo shirts for the concerts. That's to represent the different activities they're involved after school. Some in multiple, so they had to pick one. So I'm going to read off a list so you can see, and I'm going to ask both my 7th and 8th grade students to stand up when you hear this. activity. And high school students, if you want to participate too, feel free, although all your things may not be on this list. All right, wrestling, baseball, chess, softball, martial arts of any kind, basketball, football, cross country, swim. I'm going to pause there because I had some students ask if they could wear their goggles tonight, and I said no. Cheer, volleyball, soccer, NJHS, student council, hockey, dance, mechanics, our United Sound programs. And if music is your after-school activity, or if I missed it, please stand up. That's pretty encouraging. Please enjoy Flurry for Winds and Percussion. Don't ask. I'm going to turn the program over to Mr. Kozak here in just a second. I want to give a quick reminder that once the final notes are played and we say goodnight, the concert's over, but the responsibilities haven't ended yet. All of our 7th and 8th grade students, even the 6th grade students with their music stands, have responsibilities to clear this gym so that our PE department has their classroom back first thing in the morning. So please allow your kids time to do that. Mr. Kozak.
Thank you. I think I have to talk into both of these microphones for it to work for the live stream. So I'll go ahead and use. My name is Mr. Kozak. Good to see everybody here tonight. Thank you for coming out and supporting your students in their music endeavors. It's always a pleasure for us to bring our ensemble and see, as Mr. Bannon talked about, the progression from 6th grade to 7th grade to 8th grade and then into high school. And you're going to hear our top ensemble from Campo Verde High School. We have 3 concert bands at Campo Verde that are based on ability-based. We have a jazz band, and we have a winter drumline, a winter color guard, a marching band, and so we have a very, very big program that runs things constantly. Like the students are very involved, and it's just a great thing for them. One of the things that I love the most about band and music is how much it teaches our students about individual responsibility and accountability, because they leave our program knowing how to balance their lives. They have to get good grades to participate in field trips. They have to get good grades to march in the marching band. And if they don't, then they're not able to participate. So it forces them to make sure that they're balancing their homework and that they're balancing their AP classes and all their honors classes. I do want to just kind of point out how many of our students are involved in honors, because I think that's one of the things for the parents is they're worried. And I have a freshman that's at Campo Verde, is one of my own, and then my son is back here. I gotta embarrass him. Where's Owen? Owen, can you stand up? Yeah, there he is back there. He was not expecting that. That's okay. I gotta buy him ice cream afterwards, so it's fine. I know that some of the concerns that parents have are how much time it's going to be, and how many other activities the students have. Well, we have lots of students that are doing honors classes. So if you're in an AP or honors class in the wind ensemble, can you please stand? All right, go ahead and have a seat. If you're in any, same thing as what Mr. Bannon was going to talk about. If you're in any sort of after-school club or sport, can you please stand up? Go ahead and have a seat. All right, so I just wanted to point out that they're able to do those things. They're able to be involved in so many different activities. And band and music is so wonderful for them and for their brain development and their cognitive development that I strongly encourage you to make sure that your students continue on in music, because it's going to be a wonderful thing for them. One other thing I wanted to recognize our students for, this last weekend we had a wonderful opportunity to audition for the Regional Honor Band. And we had, out of our program, we had 34 students from Campo Verde that made it into the Regional Honor Band. So if you could stand and be recognized for that. Go ahead and stand if you made the Regional Honor Band. So as I mentioned, we have lots of students that are involved in music at Campo Verde. We have also as well, our orchestra program is flourishing, our choir program is flourishing. So we are going to play for you a piece tonight called Blue Mambo. This piece is a little bit more jazzy than normal, but I think you're going to really enjoy it. So this is Blue Mambo.
Mr. Kozak was very good and recognized the students' achievements in making the regional band, which is quite the accomplishment. And every year he also has students who make the Arizona All-State Band, competing against freshmen through seniors. Well, Arizona also has All-State for younger age groups. In 6th grade, we have students that are recommended by their band teachers and then selected from a committee. And in 7th and 8th grade, they have to try out just like they do in high school. So I'm very proud to announce that in our 6th grade, at least from the teachers that I was able to briefly talk to, we have 3 6th graders among the best in the state of Arizona that are going to play in the 6th grade All-State Band. Can you guys hear me? Are those 3 people here that can stand up and be recognized in 6th grade? They might not have heard me, or they're very shy. They didn't hear me, okay. 6th graders, I know some of you made it into All-State Band that's coming up. If you did that, would you please stand up if you're going to be an All-State Band? Thank you. And between our 7th and 8th graders who tried out and had to compete for their spots, I'm proud to say South Valley had 41 students make the All-State Band this year. If you guys could stand up, please. Including one particularly high honor, our flute player, Vicki Yang, got #1 in the entire state. And I've already talked about our 7th and 8th graders. I think you would agree that you can hear this progression. The Blue Mambo song that Campo did was just incredible. All that percussion stuff, the trumpet solo in the beginning. I'd like to ask that anybody who's in the high school band who remembers playing in the 6th grade band to please stand up. So a lot of times the students listen to like, I'm never going to be able to sound like that. I'm never going to be able to sound like that. There were some very good compliments, Campo students, when I walked by my 8th graders about your playing that they said. And same kind of thing. Oh, well, I can't believe how good those guys are. We're not going to sound like that. Yeah, they said the same thing when they sat over there, right? So when they get to Mr. Kozak's program, that's the level that they're going to get to play at. So thank you for coming. When we're done, please make sure that we take care of our responsibilities with our students. I'll come back and say goodbye, but we got one more fabulous tune to do with the stars of a show, a 6th grader doing Defenders of Time. So I get to defend with the shield again. Thank you very much for coming. Thank you for everybody watching on YouTube. You can always go back and rewatch the content on that. The quicker everybody puts everything away, the more time